What's up, everyone? So this is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is the #1 overall player in the upcoming quarterback draft, and class. So he's going to be a senior this year. I came across his stuff on Instagram and watched his video, and man, he is impressive. He's fast. I mean, his pocket presence, I feel like, is what really standds out overall. What makes him a really good quarterback. I mean, if you watch his film, he just makes defenses look just not very good sometimes. So let's get into it here with the breakdown. So this is just kind of a basic slant pattern. What Trevor has that stands out is definitely a strong arm and strong rotator cuff. So he has a throw that is a little bit more across his body than most people's here, and so it makes it so the back part of the shoulder right in here really has to be strong, really strong. He also has a bit of a neck flexion going on. So see how his head's back, and as he's coming through, he really puts some of the head into the throw. He's a little bit leaned over. I think overall he's using a good amount of his spine to get the ball going here. So he has a strong probably has a strong low back, probably has a strong core. Both those things he uses a lot when he's generating force and coming through during the throw. I think we can work a little bit on that front leg, and we'll see that from other angles here. Let me get this out of the way. We'll be able to see that from other angles in trying to get that front leg to be a little bit more stable, just so that he can get a little bit more force onto a little bit more weight and momentum going onto the front leg. Maybe won't have to force as much with that head and with the arm. So try to take some off of the arm, put a little bit more into the lower body. That's always kind of my thing. So I think that would be a good idea for him to work on. Next one here is a little bit more from the side, so we can see kind of how he loads in the lower body. He does a good job with his hips, so when he lands, they're a little bit externally rotated. You can see he's starting to get into some early extension where he's standing up a little bit early. The idea would be to keep kind of that same spine angle as you're transitioning forward instead of having to stand up. And when he starts standing up with those hips, then he starts to lose that good positioning in the spine, starts to lean back a little bit in that spine, creating some hyperextension there. So if there is any overuse in that low back, that's the reason why. It's just because of that early raise of the hips. Instead of making it so the hips are going this way, they're kind of coming out towards us. And that takes away some of the power that you can create within the lower body and the right leg and the glutes, and puts it into more of that front leg and spine. So that could be something to work on there. Again, it's all about just trying to be a little bit more efficient, so the release could just get a little bit more cleaned up. So you can see here, this is a longer ball, which I like, because now you can get a really good understanding of what he's trying to do. He's kind of throwing across his body, right? And the reason he ends up throwing across his body is just because that load. So he's back here, and then brings the ball way back behind his head there. And so, and again, he gets into using a good amount of his lower back, and then he ends up using a good amount of the pec. It's, there's some things that end up happening that are really good because of that, because he's got to have a strong chest, he's got to have his pec muscles got to be strong, whether it's his pec major, pec minor. One of those muscles are really strong, which is helping him create a lot of that force going forward. But it's also making it so he's putting just a lot of pressure on that shoulder. What I think we could do is just make it so instead of going and having to stretch so far back there with that ball, we just make it so you're a little bit more efficient with this lower body and get that transfer in the lower body going a little bit faster, and just really time it all up too. So when you can, I guess faster is not the right word, powerful, a little bit more powerful off of the lower body, and then get the upper body release a little bit more powerful, because your lower body right here, you're creating good force, you just end up being kind of lost with that arm. The arm gets caught behind you, and so because that arm gets caught behind you end up hyperextending, and then again using a good amount of that pec as you're coming through the throw. The idea would be, when you're doing a good job of creating force in that lower body, create a little bit more power in that lower body, get that arm going a little bit sooner, and be releasing about right there. With how everything is lined up, that hips are even, everything here in your body's ready to go, but the arm's not ready to go, and so that's what puts a little bit more extra pressure on that pec. Good thing is you're big, you have long levers, you're able to still create a good amount of force within those pecs. Okay. This one here is from the front. What we're going to be looking at here is just how well he's able to kind of shift that weight forward. Where's his knees at? It looks like overall biomechanics are good with that lower body. Knees and ankle are in a pretty good position. Again, the thing is, and this is what's going to end up happening with that how the pecs coming through, is that that hip can be, or that hip ends up leaning off to the side. So really what you'd want to do when you're finishing is you'd want the spine to be a little bit more upright, head more in this position, and keep the head, or keep the hips over here. So you're missing some of that rotation that you could have within that hip, because when you start bringing the hips this way, it limits the ability for them to completely rotate around, and when you run out of the ability to rotate around, they're going to start shifting to the other side, which they do over here. So the idea would be to be able to completely get that hip all the way around, and then just, you know, time everything up with that upper body to just let it rip as soon as that left hip totally gets an external rotation. So you know, I think you could get a little bit more yeah, just hip rotation, and then I think in the shoulder, what you mostly just need to do is you just need to get you not have as much external rotation. You need to strengthen some of those internal rotators. Maybe strengthen like muscles in the serratus and the underneath of the armpit. Let's strengthen those lats a little bit. I think that strengthening the lats will also make you a little bit faster too. So it's all internal rotators that you need to strengthen within the shoulder, and that will make it so you can get a quicker release, so you have more power, and then also make it so that front hip can just externally rotate a little bit more, and that external rotation within the left hip actually goes and correlates directly with that lat strength there. So that by just improving that posterior oblique system, you're going to get a lot more out of the throw. So yeah, I wanted to make this video for really all quarterbacks here. I hope Trevor's able to watch it and learn some stuff, but also anybody that is, you know, in the same stages, trying to understand, okay, what are the best guys doing? How are their mechanics? What can they work on? I think everybody has things that they can work on, right? Just because he's the #1 overall guy doesn't mean that he thinks that everything's probably good within his mechanics. He's probably trying to get better, and I think I encourage everybody that is in you know, the youth level to try to figure out more about their body, their throw, and just get better understanding of how to make it as efficient and effective as you can. If you want to learn more about what we do here at the PLC, you can check us out on performancelabcalifornia.com. We have an awesome QB series on there where we can talk about different types of you know, areas within the throw to improve. We'll go into what type of strength and conditioning exercise you should be doing. We talk about different mechanics, how to produce force off the back leg, how to stabilize in the front leg, how to create rotational power, some really, really cool stuff. And as time goes on, we're going to make it so there's even better information going out. So right now in the month of March, it's only $80 to become a member for the PLC quarterback series and or PLC membership page. Right now it's just a quarterback series. Going forward, we're going to add speed mechanics. We're going to add, you know, how to get rid of back pain, how to get rid of, you know, ankle pain, or if you have any ankle sprains, what to do. It's just going to be a very, very great resource going forward. For the month of March, it's $80 for the entire year. After that, it's going to go up to $99. So if you guys have any questions too, if you want to get any type of breakdown, anything like that, go ahead and give us an email, info@yourperformancelab.com. Thanks so much for watching the video, and we'll talk to you soon.